Hello everyone, welcome to Anime No Me, and thank you for joining us for another One Piece video. So now that we have the full breakdown of chapter 1058 of One Piece, we're going to go through each of the events and talk about each one and how it's going to fit into our bigger story. Now please remember that as we're talking about these full leaks, there could be slight changes in the order, or when we get the official translation, there may be slight differences in how everything is coming off the page. So please take everything with just a tiny grain of salt, but since we got a lot to talk about, we're going to go ahead and dive right in. So my friends, this chapter is going to be entitled New Emperor, and it begins on the Thousand Sunny. Nami is chewing out Luffy after they just descended the Wano waterfall because it happened in such a reckless manner, which she reminds him could have taken all the lives of everyone on the ship. In the next panels, in an absolutely brilliant Oda comedic scene, Luffy is shown locked in a cage with his face covered in bruises and wounds caused by Nami's punches, and he is then presented with the title of one of the four emperors of the sea by the narrator. Luffy apologizes to Nami, but she of course is still furious, and Nami tells him that there is a limit to his stupidity, and this time he has just gone right past it. Now Jinbei tries to calm the tensions in the environment, saying that everyone is fine and it wasn't something that hurt any of the crew members since they made it through safely. Nami then turns on Jinbei, furious at him, telling him to stop spoiling Luffy, and then lightning comes out of Nami's body. And ironically, Jinbei's quite impressed, saying that from Nami's body was being emanated the color of the Supreme Conqueror's Haki. And if you think about it from Jinbei's perspective, that's something kind of special, because if you think about it, Nami is probably the only person who could actually beat up Luffy, and he would take it. So if he is somebody who demonstrates all this Haki, and she doesn't ever seem to be affected by it, maybe Nami has her own brand, because how else could she rule over such an amazing conqueror like Luffy? Chopper then of course warns Jinbei that he shouldn't just approach Nami when she's angry. Meanwhile, we see Frankie proud of Sunny, because despite the huge fall from the height of the tall waterfall in Wano, Sunny was barely damaged. Next, a news coup delivers a newspaper to Nico Robin, who soon tells the rest of the crew that their new bounties had just shown up, and Sanji runs excitedly towards Robin, but ends up tripping and shoving all the wanted posters up into the air around the ship. But before we dive into those bounties, if you're new to the channel, or even if you've been around for a bunch of videos, we'd be absolutely honored if you leave us a like, or even consider subscribing and maybe leave us a comment letting us know what you thought of the video. It really helps us out and motivates us to make more content. And if you'd like to help out the channel in a bigger way, share your favorite video with a friend. But without further ado, let's get back into those bounties. So as we continue, my friends, as wanted posters float around the ship, the narrator comes into the scene and introduces the Straw Hats' new bounties. We're going to start at the bottom and we're going to move our way up all the way through the crew. So we're going to start with Dr. Chopper, lover of cotton candy and the crew's pet, bounty of 1,000 berries. And Chopper is impressed that his bounty has increased by a pretty decent amount. However, if you're a fan of the channel, you already know we think Chopper is not getting the respect he wants. But let's go ahead and move on. We then go on to Navigator Nami, bounty of 366 million berries. And Nami gets excited, saying that she would love to get the cash value of her own bounty. Then we move on to our musician Brook, the King of Souls, or the Soul King, depending on which translation you have. And his bounty is 383 million berries. We see Brook laughing a very hearty laugh, his yo-ho-ho-ho. Moving on to our shipwright Frankie the Cyborg, his bounty is shown to be 394 million berries. And Frankie is shown pretty upset because the Marines changed his picture on the wanted poster to a picture of Sunny, not him. The next bounty we see is our sniper, of course, God Usopp, with a bounty of 500 million berries. And scared Usopp says that he doesn't want this bounty to increase any further because it was already enough, and he kinda maybe is realizing that the higher his bounty goes, the more of a danger that he's in. Archaeologist Nico Robin, once known as the Demon Child, receives a bounty of 930 million berries. And then we had a scene of Robin giving Chopper some cotton candy. Next, we go on to some of the bigger bounties, starting with Sanji with a bounty of 1.032 billion berries. And we see Sanji lying on the ground, furious as he compares his own bounty to that of Zoro and Jinbei. Starting with the helmsman and first son of the sea, Jinbei. He receives a bounty of 1.1 billion berries. And Jinbei asks Sanji what's wrong. Then we go to contender for the greatest swordsman in the world and pirate hunter, Zoro, who gets a bounty of 1 billion, 100 million, 1 1,100 billion berries. So it's a lot of 1100001100, which kind of makes your narrator think about maybe it's in something like binary. So Zoro responds by telling Jinbei to forget about Sanji and just laughs at Sanji, saying that he is number 4 on the crew. And then of course we go to Captain and now Yonko, or Emperor of the Sea, Monkey D. Luffy, who's received a bounty of 3 billion berries. Following the bounties, the scene switches back to Luffy, who is still apologizing to Nami and says that he's really hungry. And Sunny is shown continuing on her way with the captain locked in a cage and Zoro and Sanji fighting once again, just like we would expect Zoro and Sanji to fight in a moment like this. The scene then cuts away and we now see the outside of the Karabari Island, where underlings of the Cross Guild still can't believe that their captain has managed to recruit 2 pirates like Crocodile and Mihawk. However, things inside the Big Ten are very different. We see that Buggy is crying and begging for his life, his face covered with bruises and bumps, and it seems like he also has some broken teeth. Crocodile and Mihawk are sitting on the commander's couch. While Crocodile is grabbing Buggy's head, Mihawk is pointing at Buggy with his sword, and Buggy begs to forgive him, and he will do anything he can for the 2 of them. Crocodile then says that it should have been him and Mihawk that founded the Cross Guild, but why did Buggy get chosen as the leader? And Mihawk completes the sentence by saying that Buggy is the first and last person to become a Yonko at the cost of other powerful people. And then Crocodile adds on top of that, saying that the word ashamed is not enough to describe his feelings for Buggy right now. So Buggy asks them again, please, to not kill him. Mihawk, with his cold gaze and special eyes, says that this is non-negotiable. And then the scene is joined by Galdino, otherwise known as Mr. 3, who looks at Crocodile and says that it is an honor to work for him again after so many years. Next we see Buggy confront Galdino, saying that he will not forgive him if he betrays him, but Galdino replies to Buggy that he was never one of his subordinates. Moji, Kabaji, and Alvina see Buggy as being weaker than Crocodile, and they think that Crocodile should be the leader and they will follow him now. We next get a short flashback that starts at the time where the Marines are surrounding Kuriagana Island where Mihawk lived. Now, Crocodile called Mihawk by Denden Mushi, while Mihawk was gathering his things to leave before he could be captured by the Marines. As their conversation continues, Crocodile proposes to him that they should work together now that the Warlords of the Sea and that system had been dissolved, saying that Mihawk knew that it wasn't a bad deal if he joined Crocodile. They would have an organization that even the Marines wouldn't dare confront. Crocodile goes on to say that Mihawk was the man they once called the Marine Hunter. Besides, they were very similar when it came to taking care of people they trusted the most. Mihawk then responds with his silence. We then change to another flashback of a time where the Marines were surrounding Karabari Island, and Buggy is preparing his escape plan. But then Buggy's subordinates report that someone was attacking the Navy's ships. Coming out of the big tent, Buggy could not believe what his eyes saw. Crocodile and Mihawk were sinking Navy ships, and Buggy's underlings say that there had been a rumor that Buggy was like Crocodile's older brother, and then it must be true. So that was why Crocodile was now risking his life to save him. And Buggy confirms this lie, but in reality, Buggy has been very afraid of what was going to happen or could potentially happen with them showing up on his island. As the scene continues, Crocodile then meets with Buggy and says that he knows very well that Buggy would run away to avoid paying the debt that he owes. And Buggy tries to make excuses about the money. He says that things are just so busy and going well with Buggy's delivery service and that he has too many workers to feed and it just costs too much money. Not to mention the fact that his main stars, the Giants, had just recently quit. Now Crocodile angrily says that if he can't make enough money, the only thing left for him to do is to sell out to somebody else. Buggy replies by telling him not to say such scary things as they were friends who had joined forces to get out of Impel Down together. But then Crocodile tells him he better return the money he had borrowed from him, as he now needed it to make his own organization. Then Buggy comes upon a solution. He asked him to join him and serve him. Buggy says that he has everything Crocodile needs to start his company, and Crocodile can use everything for free. And that way, Buggy can pay his debts back with work. Back in the present, Crocodile is looking very angrily at Buggy while holding the Cross Guild poster with his hook. Crocodile says that after everything they talked about, that the poster that Buggy had spread around the world had made it look like he was the leader of the Cross Guild and that Buggy did it on purpose. And Buggy replies that this is all just a misunderstanding. Crocodile asks him what he means by this. And Buggy replies saying that it was his employees that did it, that his employees just love him and respect him that much. And the moment when he saw the poster, he was more shocked than either Mihawk or Crocodile could have been. We then slip back into a tiny little flashback where we see what happened with the posters. And we're shown Buggy asking one of his employees what he did with the posters. And his employee replies that since he was the most important among the three pirates, he put Buggy in the middle. And Buggy is terrified by this answer. And soon after, his subordinate also says that he had already delivered all the posters all over the world, even to the Marine barracks, which causes Buggy to freak out. We then see a scene cut to the Navy headquarters, where Brand New is holding an emergency meeting, and he talks about Buggy, saying that he is not only the mastermind behind the Impel Down incident, but he was also a former member of the Pirate King's crew, and is also said to be a pirate who even rivals red-haired Shanks. Brand New adds that Buggy's charisma got Crocodile to help him, and he also mentions the relationship between Crocodile and Mihawk, and that the Cross Guild is an organization that could be a big threat to the Navy. As Brand New continues, he then reports on the new bounties of these three pirates. Crocodile, ex-warlord and Logia user with extremely high intelligence and charisma. Bounty, 1.965 billion berries. Hawkeye Mihawk, also a former warlord and greatest swordsman in the world, who in fact surpasses the Yonko Shanks in sword skill. So the strongest swordsman in the world has a bounty of 3.590 billion berries. Buggy the Clown. In addition to the aforementioned deeds, his power has made it possible for Crocodile and Mihawk to follow him, giving him a reward of 3.189 billion berries. He is then recognized as a new emperor along with Straw Hat Luffy, and the government has labeled them both as dangerous factions to watch. Back on Karibare Island, Crocodile is tired of talking, so he looks to be about ready to finish Buggy off, who is still begging for his life. But Mihawk starts to talk, and he says that, it might not be a bad idea to give Buggy all the glory. After all, he really isn't interested in being a Yonko. He just wants to live in peace. Crocodile then asks Mihawk if he's serious. Mihawk tells Crocodile that they can use Buggy to get attention so that they can do whatever they want in the shadows. So Crocodile ends up agreeing with Mihawk. And in the next panels, we see Buggy come out on a balcony with Crocodile and Mihawk and informs them all about the new alliance. And he tells pirates to prepare for a new era because they have created the Cross Guild. And here are the commanders, Crocodile and Mihawk. The two ex-warlords look seriously at their subordinates while shouting their name, and Buggy starts to cry. His subordinates think that it's because of emotion and joy, but Buggy cries because he now knows that not only is his life in danger, he just missed getting killed by a razor's edge. We then cut to the Kamabaka King, where we see the leaders of the Revolutionary Army have just returned safely, but Sabo isn't with them. But the members that have been in the Kamabaka Kingdom tell Koala that he is fine, and it seems that Karasu is guessing that what they're about to talk about is the incident that just happened after they split up while in Morishwa. Koala approaches Dragon, who says that if Sabo really had taken King Cobra's life, he will not forgive him, no matter what the reasons were behind it. And then we see Dragon move to stand in front of Kuma and talk to him. Dragon asks Kuma to tell him what he saw. Kuma says that he will tell him everything, but still is acting in a really strange way, as if he's still kind of in a slave mode or something had been changed about his personality. But then suddenly a Denden Mushi rings. We see that the Navy headquarters has just intercepted a call to the Kamabaka Kingdom, and they say that it might be the Flame Emperor, so they start recording it. A koala picks up the Denden Mushi and answers. She hears a familiar voice saying hello, and that it was Sabo who was calling. And then, in usual Oda fashion, the chapter ends, and we then learn that we're on a break next week. But with all that said, my friends, we'd love to know what you think about it. Do you think that Sabo really took King Cobra's life, or is this just a ploy for the world government to pin it on? And next, how do you think Crocodile and Mihawk might be trying to use Buggy? I mean, Mihawk makes a really good point about them being able to work from the shadows, but we also know how much of a wild card Buggy can be. So what kind of problems do you think he might cause for the other two? Let us know what you think in the comments below. So as we wrap up our video, I want to thank you all so much, my friends, for watching the video all the way up to the very end. Make sure you comment on any themes or ideas that you'd like to see in future videos. And also, since you made it this far, give us a like or hit that red subscribe button before you head out to take on the rest of your day. Really hope to see you all in our next video, and let's keep sailing this giant sea together. Take care.